Hey, I have another video here for you guys. Check engine light on I believe it was a 13 or 14 F-150 with the 5-liter Coyote engine. They're pretty common, what I have here today, on the F-150s and on the Mustangs with the 5-liter engines. The check engine light specifically had a P2005 code. You can see right here. And that basically is intake runner, intake manifold runner control, stuck open. Now I see a lot of them where they say stuck open or stuck closed. 2005, 6, 7, 8, I believe, were the main codes for stuck open or stuck closed. This is the intake manifold removed from the vehicle. In order to diagnose this, Ford wants you to vacuum test a couple of these hoses in the back. This is flipped upside down, by the way, so it normally sits like this. This is the back of the engine, back of the manifold. It's the front where your throttle body goes in at. So in order to take this off, I remove the air intake, which kind of sits here, and then there was a throttle body which sits here. It unplugs here. There are 6 manifold bolts that are all 8mm, and then there's where these two stacks are on either side. There's 4 bolts on either side for the fuel rail. Right here sits your this is your purge valve. It kind of sits in here, and then this is where the PCV hose kind of goes into the intake. So on this we have, so looking at this, we have bank 1 over here, bank 2. That code right there, the 2005, is a bank 2 stuck closed. So I'll flip it. I'm gonna spin it this way. And by the way, in case you didn't see it, there's a lot of gunk inside of these manifolds. There's all sorts of nasty sludge and carbon and oil, and it just gets really gummed up and nasty, which probably doesn't help the corrosion that builds up on these codes. So what ends up happening is these are the pumps, the vacuum pumps on either side, and the IMRC, the runner control, controls the vacuum with the engine. It has little solenoids on the back here, which when you take this off, there's a vacuum hose that runs from here to the front of the engine port, which that comes off with the intake, and then you take it off of here, because trying to get this off while it's on the engine is like, I don't want to say it's impossible, but I've never been able to get to it. And when I take these off, I usually start on the driver's side, and I'm able to get the one, I believe it's this plug. Yeah, so this is the driver's side when you're taking it out. I get this unplugged, and then I go to the passenger side and to the back of the engine, and I'm able to unplug this one, and then the 2 top guys. A lot easier to remove this intake. It's kind of a bear because you gotta lean over the engine to get them out, but at any rate, so what ends up happening is there's a rod that runs inside here, the whole length of the intake here. Built into the intake is the runner. This is a sensor that kind of monitors where the runner is at, which is what's telling you what your code is. And this is the vacuum pumps here. Okay, and they kind of control this little lever right here. Kind of move it. See how that kind of moves there? And then you can actually see the action of the runner inside the intake here. So it kind of opens it up and closes it. Let me put it this way. I shouldn't be able to do this easily on this side runner. I tried that over here, and it's harder to do because the sensor is actually trying to keep that thing, well, when it's plugged in, it tries to keep it where it's supposed to be at. So already I could tell how loose this thing is. There's like no resistance on it. So I'll go and try to take this one off. And I'll try to take the other side off as well. Try to see what this what actually happens here with the rod that's inside of there. So this is sticking on there pretty good. I have to wiggle it off a little bit. So you can kind of see right inside here, that's the rod that goes into the sensor. Well, that sensor just kind of came off. I don't think that's supposed to happen either. Kind of fell apart there. All right, so that's not supposed to happen either. There's a rod that sits inside there. This is supposed to be attached to that sensor, so I guess that sensor was bad too. I guess it was just reading right. And this one here, oh, this is just coming right off. It's not even giving me a fight. It's not good. All right, yeah, so you can see that right there, this rod's already broken right off. See that how it's kind of rusted and corroded right there? That rod runs the entire length of the runner there. And it snapped completely off. That's why it was not reading right. So the sensor was reading that it was stuck in a closed position the entire time, whether the vacuum pump was working or not. So that's what we see happen. These sensors, the rods in there, they snap due to all the corrosion and rust that kind of builds up in there, and we get that code. Unfortunately, the sad side of this whole story is the whole intake has to get replaced because that rod's not serviceable separate. At least at this point, you know, we're in 2022 here, and that rod's not serviceable separate here. So nice thing is, though, the intake does come with all this attached already. The new sensors, the vacuum pumps, gaskets. Even up front here comes with a new throttle body gasket as well. So it's like a complete assembly, which is really nice. So I hope this video helped you see physically what's going on with it. Rarely have I ever seen anything else happen with these vacuum lines, or really anything else. It's always that one rod that's breaking. And usually for me personally, that I've done these, it's been bank 2. The driver's side has always been my go-to. So that's what I have for you today. And like I said, hope it helped.